doing the Q&A video. And he has the hiccups, so sorry if that's distracting, but he has the hiccups, so yeah, it's kind of cute, I think. But anyway, I'm probably going to do this into 2 parts because there were quite a few questions, which is amazing. But I want to elaborate on some of them and not just give like yes or no answers to everything. So I'll probably break it up into 2. But let me just go ahead and get started with the questions. Okay, first I want to start with the questions that like so many people wanted to know. So these are like the repeated ones that lots and lots of people asked. And the main question was, how many kids, well, the couple main questions, how many kids do you want? We're thinking 3, so we're not set on that number. I would honestly like probably more than that, but James and I have agreed on 3. When will you TTC again? I think this one was the #1 question. And honestly, I would like to start TTCing as soon as possible, which I talked to my doctor about it because I wanted to know what he thought would be safe for me, because every body, every pregnancy, every person is different. So I asked what would be safe, what would be a safe amount of time after my C-section to get pregnant again, and he said if it's 6 months we want to, then that's when we could start trying again. So obviously that's going to depend a little on breastfeeding and all that, because sometimes it's harder to get pregnant when you're breastfeeding. So we're going to kind of see what happens, but ideally at the 6-month mark is when we'd like to start trying again. How far apart do you want your children? Obviously close together. So yeah, we're just going to knock them out, because I mean, I really liked being pregnant and it wasn't as hard on my body as I thought it was going to be, and I would love to have a bunch of kids, so might as well just go through them, you know? What kind of birth control are you using? I guess if we're getting personal here, none. We're doing the pull and pray method, which, by the way, isn't a method, so I know that. No worries, guys. But, you know, what's gonna happen is gonna happen. And I TTC for so long, I know the signs of ovulation and stuff like that, so if I saw those, we'd probably avoid those couple days or week, if that were the case. So yeah, not on birth control. Alright, now for just the other questions that everybody was asking. What would you name Jonathan if he was a girl? There's another question that's similar to this too, like what boy and girl names do I like? And I don't want to say because I want to kind of keep them for our other kids, because I like to keep it secret until we know what we're having. So sorry, I'm not really answering that question, but I do have a girl name picked out, and I have a couple more boy names picked out. Are you disappointed with your breastfeeding experience? I would be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed, and that's just because he was taken away and had to be in the NICU. It had nothing to do with having a C-section, because I was disappointed that I had to have it at first. However, I got over that, and you know, it was what it was, and it turned out to be the C-section itself was a good experience. Yeah. But I was disappointed with not having him after birth, and obviously I couldn't breastfeed until just like pretty much a couple days ago, except for just here and there. But yeah, so I would be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed. What are a few must-have baby items? I'm actually going to do a whole video on baby items that I love, that I don't love. I'm actually thinking of doing every week a product that I like or don't like, so like product reviews. So I might pick a day during the week, I don't know which one yet, to do something like that. If you guys are interested, let me know. Is being a mom and caring for Jonathan what you thought it would be? Is it easier or more difficult? It's more difficult than I thought, but really that just stems from the fact that he had all of his medical stuff early on, and feedings were so difficult until just recently. So otherwise it was pretty much what I expected, but the feeding thing and being in the NICU was a lot more difficult than anything that I could have imagined. Plans for when Jonathan starts eating solids, purees, baby-led weaning. You know, I haven't given it a whole lot of thought yet. However, I kind of like the idea of baby-led weaning, and I'm going to look more into exactly everything that goes into that. But I do want to make some purees because it looks like it'd be really fun to make. So I don't exactly know yet, but I'll start looking into it. What are mommy must-have since having baby? Time and margaritas. I'm kidding, but seriously. Mommy, but really like products or things like that. I I don't know of any product that I use that's like, after I had him, I needed this. More than anything, I think it was just like going and getting new makeup and making yourself feel pretty when you don't really feel pretty is kind of amazing. Like my mom got me a gift card to Ulta. That was amazing. I went and picked out some new makeup, and when you get new makeup, you feel like $1 million. So I don't know if that really answered your question, so sorry if it didn't. Do you have a daytime routine or schedule? Not really. We don't have a set schedule. It's in the morning we have a little bit more of a schedule. Like I'll wake up and feed him, and he kicks around in his bassinet and smiles and stuff like that for a little bit, and we snuggle a little bit, and then we go downstairs. I put him in his rock and play sleeper, and he takes another nap, and that's when I get whatever I need done during the day, because he usually sleeps for about an hour. So that's when I clean or, you know, do whatever I have to do. Eat breakfast. I can actually eat at a normal speed instead of shoving something in my face really quickly. So otherwise, the rest of the day is just on-demand feeding, sleeping, and we usually put him down around 9:30 to go to bed, which I know seems late, but he does sleep downstairs while we're kind of hanging out in the family room, so it's not like he's not sleeping. Does that make sense? What made you start YouTube? Honestly, I don't really know. I saw some TTC vlogs, and I guess I just was like, oh, that's nifty. We're about to TTC. Let me start doing them. I really think that's kind of what it was, and I've loved it so far, so I continue doing it. What made you pick the name Jonathan? James and I just really both like the name Jonathan, and my stepdad's name was John, and he passed away of cancer about 8 months before we got married, and he was a really, really important person in my life, and so we kind of wanted a take on his name, but his name was just John, and I just felt like John was such a man name. I couldn't look at my baby and be like, John, what are you doing, John? You know, I don't know. So we really like Jonathan, and then if people want to call him John later, or Johnny, or whatever, that's fine. Has having your first baby changed you in any way? Easy and difficult parts. It actually has changed me. So James, which I'll get into this in another question, but James has a new Camaro, which I guess I might as well just answer that question now. Somebody asked what happened to the Camaro. It was completely totaled, so it was a total loss. We couldn't fix it. We ended up using that money to pay off my SUV, and then James really wanted another Camaro, so he traded his truck in and got a new one. And it has a lot of power. This thing is wicked. It's pretty cool. But anyway, he took me out on a drive after we had him. My mom was here, and she was watching him. He might have been going a little over the speed limit, but it's okay. And it really freaked me out, and normally I love to go fast, guys. Like, we go to the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and we've taken the Camaro on the track. I love it. It's amazing. But it scared me because I was like, what if a deer jumped out right now and we freaking die? He doesn't have parents anymore, and it was just a huge shift because it's not just about you anymore. It's about your child, and they rely on you. So it's a whole different mentality now. And the easy and difficult parts, the easy part is just having the most amazing little child in your life, and it's amazing. The difficult part is also having somebody relying on you 24/7 for their every need, even though it's not that it's so hard, it's just wearing sometimes, I guess. Products you wished you hadn't registered for, or gifts that you received that I haven't used. Honestly, the only thing that I haven't used so far is the wipes warmer. Everything else, I did a lot of research and I asked my friends and did all that kind of stuff. And I guess pacifiers, because he doesn't like pacifiers. But really, that's about it. Everything else we've really used, or we will use, because some of the stuff is for when he's a little older. But everything else, I mean, we've used it, and it's been amazing. We also had a lot of baby hats. We used like 2 of them. So you don't need 5 million pairs of baby hats. But you do need 5 million pairs of baby socks, because they disappear. They get eaten, so you need those. Where does Jonathan sleep, and when and how do you think you will transition him to the crib? So right now he's in a bassinet by our bed, and I honestly am debating on when to start transitioning him to the crib. I'm trying to put him down for some naps in his crib so he gets used to it, but I'm thinking when he's not waking up so much in the middle of the night, maybe if he's just waking up once or so, that's when I might transition him to the crib. So we'll kind of see how that goes. Any new mommy get ready tricks? Yes, I put him in the Mamaroo and I get ready fast. That's all I got. Do it quickly, get a makeup routine you can put on your face in 5 minutes or less, take a quick shower, learn how to shave fast, power shave, that's what I like to call it, power shave. And yeah, just put them in something that'll keep them distracted for like 10-15 minutes and you're golden. First thoughts when finding out you were going to be a mom. Oh, I was so happy. I was just elated. I mean, there's no other word to describe it than that. I was just over the moon, so excited. And I was scared because I was afraid I was going to have another miscarriage, but just really, really excited and happy. Is it hard not having family close? It is. It's extremely difficult because, like, next week, James is leaving for a certain amount of time to do some training, and I'm going to be all by myself. Well, I was. And I'm like, I need my mom. Like, it's a lot right now. How am I supposed to clean and do everything? Because when James gets home at night, I have him watch him for a little bit so I can clean, like, do more cleaning because I can't get it all done while he's napping at first. And it's just hard when it's all on you and to not have any time to do anything else, really. So it's hard not having family close by, but my mom heard that he was leaving and she's coming up to stay with me for a couple days. I'm the best mom ever, I'm just saying. How long do you want to breastfeed? I'm thinking a year, but because we have so much milk in the freezer and I don't want it to go to waste, I will donate it if I have to, but I'm thinking I might stop a couple months early and still give him milk just in a bottle. So we'll kind of see how that goes, especially if we do want a TTC and I am not getting pregnant while breastfeeding. So yeah, I don't know. We'll kind of see what happens there. What is Jonathan's sleep schedule? During the day he just kind of sleeps whenever, and then at night he sleeps from about 9:30 to 6:30 in the morning, but he wakes up in between to eat, usually about every 3 hours. The first stretch he can go about 4 hours, and then he goes about every 3-ish, 2 to 3-ish hours after that. Are you exclusively pumping or is he nursing? I was exclusively pumping, but on Saturday he was just like not taking a bottle from me, and I freaked out because I was like, why aren't you eating? Scared me to death. And he would take a bottle for James but not me, and I was beside myself because I'm like, you're at work all day. I mean, he's gonna starve to death. Turns out he wanted to nurse, and starting Sunday he is only nursed and he's been doing great. So I'm really not pumping anymore. Hardly. Which pump do you use? I use the Spectra C, which I love it. I will do a review on that because I like it enough to do a review on it. It's amazing. And my pumping schedule was I would pump every 3 hours for 30 minutes. So if you want to calculate that, that's 4 hours a day being hooked up to a pump. It was awful. Did everything you went through with Jonathan make your faith in God stronger? Yes. Ultimately, it definitely did. I will have to admit that I had some weak moments where it was kind of like, God, why? But ultimately, I know that it all happened for a reason. I know that it made us stronger, and I know that it made me appreciate everything so much more. But sometimes it just felt like it was too much, and I was like, God, I can't handle anymore, you know? But I did, and it made me stronger. So ultimately, my faith in him also became stronger. How long did you TTC for? We TTC'd for 16 months? Something like that, about 16 months. Are you or will you be a stay-at-home mom? Yes. That was one thing when I actually first met James, I knew I liked him a lot right away. I told him that I always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. He's like, well, I've always wanted my wife to be a stay-at-home mom. And I'm like, what a coincidence! Pick me! No, I'm just kidding. I didn't say that, but yeah. So as long as we can swing it, which we've been able to for a while because I was a stay-at-home wife. I do odd jobs. Well, odd jobs. I do photography on the side. So I kind of just do that on my own time and more as a hobby, but it still is a little bit of income. What camera do you use to record your videos? It is the Samsung, I don't know, I'll put that up here somewhere. I really like it though. I just don't know the name of it off the top of my head, but it's a Samsung. What were your first thoughts when Jonathan was born? Oh my gosh, I was just so excited and so happy, and when I first saw him, I couldn't believe, for one thing, how much he looked like James, and secondly, I remember I was like, he has big hands, because his hand was kind of poking out from the blanket, and I'm like, he has really big hands. I thought it was cute. So yeah. Will you ever PCS since James is in the Army? Yeah, yes. We will probably have to go somewhere for like 2 years, but then be back here. So James has been here his whole career so far, which is almost 9 years, but we will have to go somewhere for a little bit in order to come back. So yeah, at some point we'll leave for a smidge, which could be sooner rather than later, but we don't really know. It just kind of depends what happens with his next promotion, so we'll see. When you get a solid routine down, will you return to vlogging? A lot of people ask about when I'm going to vlog again, if I'm going to vlog with him, just vlogging questions. I am going to keep vlogging, or continue to vlog, but when I was pumping and being hooked up to the pump 4 hours a day and then feeding him and cleaning everything and just having a newborn in general, it was way too much and there was no way I could swing it. But now that he is just nursing, I would love to go back to vlogging, so I might try to do that within the next couple weeks or so look out for that! Was there a point in your TTC journey that you were really close to giving up? There were so many times when I was like, I can't do this anymore, it's too stressful, I don't understand why it's not easy for us, it's easy for everybody else, it's supposed to be the most natural thing, why is it so hard? You know, having a little pity party. I mean, it's hard. It's easy to have pity parties because it's really difficult. But I didn't completely want to give up though. I never wanted to give up the hope that we could have a baby. When you want baby number 2, would you consider adopting? Adoption is something that I actually looked into before we had him, and I love the idea of adopting, I truly do. But I think it's ridiculous what all you have to go through to adopt a baby and how expensive it is. And with wanting to save for the children, like him, like for his college, and for our retirement and our future children's colleges, I don't know if we could swing $30-some thousand to adopt. So it's not that I wouldn't like to adopt a child, it's just that I don't think that would really be too much of an option for us since we really only have one income. Can you do a diaper, bag, and stroller review? I'll put it on my list of reviews to do because I like both, so yes. Alright guys, well I'm going to stop there since he's getting a little fussy and he probably needs to take a nap and I need to work out, and that was a good amount of questions. That was like 20 minutes worth of questions. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will put the second part up, I don't know, within a week or so. So keep an eye out for that, and I will see you guys later. I'm thinking about you guys, I'm praying for you, and I will see you soon. Bye guys!